Hello, Gary Dover. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to SharkCast Pod. This is a game day, game eve preview. The team is out as of 4 o'clock, and it's way past that now. And we've got Gary Dover from the Cronulla Sharks on site, believe it or not, in Melbourne.
Live
and
from
I
Melbourne.
should say that this show is brought to you by Dyson Logistics, the Royal Motor Yacht Club in Port Hacking, and Jason Hawes at Cripps and Cripps Real Estate. I'll put the little banner up in case people are watching this on the YouTube. Gary,
Hello.
like down there at the moment.
Life down here is good. The sun's out. It's sunny. We just obviously had captain's run this morning. Boys went through all their final prep and everyone was looking pretty good. Yeah, the vibes are high. Everyone's feeling good. Everyone in the building knows what we can do, and everyone else can doubt us and see what happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of doubt going on, that's for sure, from the outside Shark world. Now,
Yes.
It was revealed on the Instagram, I think accidentally, that Jesse Ramian will not be playing. He was photographed by himself in a coffee shop this morning in Cronulla, so that was kind of let out of the bag by Jesse himself. So unfortunately, Jesse not fit to play, not fit to travel. All the best for next week. Hopefully not next week, but the week after. So that's a bummer. But we do know that Tall Tom has made the fitness cut. He'll be on the bench, which is awesome news for him and for the team.
Yep.
Tell me about captain's run. You're fresh from there. How did that go?
Yeah, it was a really good morning, actually. Like, obviously, I'm pretty privileged to be in the position I'm in and to sit in the team meetings and to see what their plan is and what they're thinking and how they want to run the game and all the lead up and things like that. And yeah, through all the video sessions this morning, everyone's looking good. Everyone's feeling positive. And then they just go through their last run. We were at a rugby club about 20 minutes away from the city here. And yeah, they ran through their paces. Everyone was looking good and just touching up a few things here and there that they needed to do, and obviously coming together and chatting about everything that's happening. And obviously those changes, as you mentioned. So Jesse, unfortunately, out, but Sifa named in the centres and Tommy Hazo back onto the bench, which is good after we thought he would possibly be in a bit of doubt after the Manly game. But yeah, he's back in there. So good to see.
So coach has gone with Talakai over Atkinson. Atkinson to the bench, still a really important role.
Yeah.
I was thinking earlier in the year, I believe, am I right in saying Talakai played, did he play in the centres or was Kale there?
No, I'm pretty sure Sifa was, I don't know if he was in the back row or in the centres, but when we played down here the last time,
He
he
scored
was
that try, obviously.
Yeah. So, yeah, like obviously he's done a job there for us before. He's knows exactly what he needs to do and how we need to play. And yeah, we've got another big body back in Oregon who was obviously rested last week. And,
Yeah.
you know, we need that engine room firing against those Storm forwards. So looking forward to that contest. But yeah, pushing Royce back to the bench, get a bit of impact there that Sifa might have. You know, he gave us a lot of impact off the bench, and with him missing there, a guy like Royce needs to step up. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. I'm pumped. Everyone down here's pumped. So, a few Sharks fans around, which is nice. And, yeah, everyone's in a good mood.
Yeah, there'll be plenty more arriving over the next 24, that's for sure. I know a lot of people going down. There's obviously a big contingent who live down there. We spoke to Lush on the show during the week, and he's got a whole bunch of people excited. They're going to meet at the Pink Lemonade Bar about 1 o'clock on game day. So head down there before the game and let them know that we sent you. I think there's going to be some black, white, and blue in the crowd. Obviously, there'll be a lot more purple, but it's going to be a great contest. From what you and I can tell, the boys are up for it. And it's got a bit of a feel about it, you know. Hopefully it goes that way. I mean, there's nothing worse than when it doesn't go that way, but I feel like it will go that way. I think it'll be a tight contest, and we're in it up to our armpits. And, yeah, there's something about Sharks and Melbourne and Sharks that can be quite special, especially this time of year.
Especially come finals time, I agree.
Yeah. Fitzy did his presser this morning, which I thought was pretty cool, and he was talking about the rivalry, and the reporter was sort of saying, oh, it's, 2016. And he was like, it's been a long time since 2016. It's still there, but this is a new batch of guys, and it's a different thing. It's like we want to beat you in a finals rivalry. It's not Cam Smith and Will Chambers versus Graham and Gallen. It's a bit different to that, which is probably for the best. They could just focus on the footy. How have you gauged the younger guys, like particular Kale Iro and some of the more inexperienced fellas on the trip down? Are they as cool as what they usually are? They feeling
Yeah,
all right?
they're exactly the same as they are on every away trip. Everyone's in that zone and they know what they need to do and how they prepare. And they all have their individual things that they do and their little bits and pieces that they like to, go for a walk to this coffee shop or that coffee shop and do their little routines throughout the weekend. So everyone's just rolling as per normal. And yeah, there's no nervousness, no anything like that. Everyone's they realize what an opportunity we've got. And I think, they're of the belief that they can go out there and do it and they're going to give it all they can tomorrow night. And I'm really looking forward to the contest. As you mentioned, there's no AFL on down here, which is nice. So, it seems like the town's embracing rugby league a little bit more than it usually does when we come down here. Usually you can't find a TV with an ad on, but at the moment, they're running footy ads all through the day and it's great. It's good
Cool.
vibes. So, yeah, rugby league's the focus and we're ready to go.
Exactly what you said. A great opportunity. Going to do all I can. I literally cannot ask for anything more. Do I want them to win? Yes. I want to ask them to win? Yes. But if they go out there and realize the opportunity and give it everything they got, then they've won. I'm sorry if that's a hippie answer or a hippie statement, but that's what they need to do. If they do that, I believe they'll win, I guess is more my point. And it sounds like they're switched on. I'm of the belief that Nico is shutting out all the outside noise because there's a lot of outside noise. And it's just, it's just how the world works, right? Like we live in a 24-hour news cycle of rugby league. I work for it, you work for it, and there's got to be something to talk about. Let's talk about Nico. He hasn't done this, hasn't done that. It's like it's getting over the top.
Job, right? That's their job.
Fitzy, yeah, it's their job. But as Fitzy said in the presser, if he has the game of his life and the 16 other guys don't perform against Melbourne, it's not going to matter.
Exactly. That's exactly right. It's a perfect way for Fitzy to look at it. But yeah, at the end of the day, like there is 17 men out there on the field, hopefully not 18, but yeah, they all need to work together. They're a really connected bunch. Throughout the year, they've just worked on, really getting around each other and coming together. And that connection you see throughout the team, throughout every activity that we do, it's just, I haven't experienced that in a while since working here, and it's a special group that I think can do something pretty special. So I'm looking forward to the game, and I feel like, everyone's doubting us. That's when we play our best footy. We have no pressure on us. We can go out there and, we're a tough, gritty side when we want to be. And if we turn up tomorrow night, they've got something to worry about.
It's been interesting watching the press this week. They literally, at times, have ignored that we are a club in the finals. And you'd sort of think, well, if we were in the ninth spot and came eighth, well, they're the least likely to do something because they came eighth. We came fourth. We've been in the finals under Fitzy for 3 straight years, and they're literally not talking about us in segments. Yeah. And when they get to the Melbourne Sharks game, they talk about Melbourne, and they go to the next game. It's like, what?
It's crazy, and, yeah. Absolutely crazy.
They'll be talking about us when we win. That's the funny thing about it all. And, yeah, I bang on about it a lot, Gary, on the show, as you know, that this group, in my 10 years of covering it, I have not seen a closer group, and that includes 2016.
Yeah.
And you just sort of pretty much said the same thing as well, and it's a fact. And when I talk to the players about what can you learn from this or where to go wrong, they always talk about connecting. They don't go, oh, we missed the tackles or we dropped the ball. They go, we needed to work on our connection in that moment. And I'm sitting there going, okay, well, I think I know what that means, but it's a really unusual answer. But it's exactly what you just said. Like they're working on, and then so someone can go, well, why aren't they connected all the time? It's like, well, they are connected. There's no issue in that moment. It's more communication or just rising to that occasion in that moment. Yeah.
And knowing that each other has each other's back and they're going to be in the spot they need to be in. So you need to be in your spot. And if everyone gets that right and everything's linked and chained together, we can do special things. So.
Yes. So I think that's a major bonus for us. And I'm not suggesting the Storm don't have it. I don't follow them that closely. Maybe they've got it in truckloads. I don't know. But the fact that we have it right now is a huge bonus for us. Storm come into the game in unbelievable form. They're just winning by a lot every week. They finish first. They, in finals, Gary, this may shock you, they've lost 4 of the past finals. Now, as Fitzy said in the presser, we're talking about present and future. We're not too focused on the history of things.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting thing when you think about the Storm, this finals juggernaut. They've actually lost 4 of the past 5. So they are beatable, especially down there. They are, however, scoring 29 points per game. And in history of the Storm, that's the second most in a season that they've been scoring. So they're in really good form. They are missing the fewest tackles, conceding the fewest meters. Defensively, they're great. They're great all around the park, in all seriousness. Mm-hmm. The spine is unbelievable. So I think for Cronulla, they've just got to play. It's twofold. They've got to worry about their own game and then shut down the key players at the Storm. So it's going to be a tricky 80 minutes. Has there been talk, Gary, about playing for the 80?
Not necessarily playing for the 80, but sticking to our processes and plans and making sure we don't, if a moment goes wrong, you've got to brush it and get on with the next moment, because, a finals game is all about those 1 second opportunities that you've got to take. And if we're not taking our seconds when they present themselves, we're just going to get so far behind that it's not going to matter about any other seconds that we take. So I think if we can roll through the middle, make the Storm a bit uncomfortable, make them run around a bit, we'll be right. But yeah, as you mentioned, their spine's unbelievable and they're in some pretty good form. I think, though, people are overlooking just how bad the Broncos kind of were in that last game they played. And if the Storm are going to rock up tomorrow night and think that they're just going to play like that again against us, they got another thing coming. So hopefully they do. Hopefully they think it's all just going to click for them and we can roll in there and really give it to them.
How did Tall Tom look at captain's run? Is he?
Yeah, he's fine.
100%, or 100% as far as you can tell. Is he running all right?
Yeah, he's running fine. He was running during the week, which was a bit surprising when, we first heard about his injury off the back of the Manly game. And then during the week, he seemed to be training all right. And we thought, oh, he's in with the shot here. And then, he travelled down with the team, got through captain's run. So ready to go. He's looking good.
All right, excellent. And everyone else looks fit, firing? No injury clouds or...
No injury clouds. Obviously, as we mentioned at the top of the show, Jesse unfortunately didn't make the trip down. And, it's probably more of a, he was touch and go there, apparently, according to the physios. He could have been there. But when we've got that second chance, do we really want to risk a guy like Jesse, who's a key cog in our back line and, a real strong defensive attacking player? Do we want to risk that long term, or do we just rest him this week and make sure that he's right for that back end run? Might get a couple of weeks off, so... he'll be fine, but we just couldn't risk him this week.
And tell us about your experience down there. What's going on? What are you covering? What are you doing? What's the workforce got you doing down there?
Yeah, so we've been covering captain's run this morning, obviously, and, photos, videos, all that fun stuff. And then tomorrow, game day, we'll do a team walk in the morning. I'm not sure where that'll be, but we'll go down, play some ball games, just get around each other and have a bit of brekkie. And then everyone sort of does their own thing in the lead up to the game and do our last bits of prep, video work, and little team meeting straight onto the bus. We roll into Amy Park, and that's where the magic happens.
There's been a lot of talk about the fact it's a day game, and that does help us out a lot. We've got a great record during the day, and that sort of hints at dry weather as well. But fast football, we like to keep the ball in motion, keep the ball in play. So that's a huge bonus for us as well. I mean, we know the weather can change down there any second.
We've been watching it. It's meant to rain in the morning, actually, tomorrow morning, but not meant to be anything crazy. And it's meant to be a bit windy, so it might dry it up a bit quicker come the afternoon. But it's not meant to be hot or anything like that. Obviously, we're in Melbourne. It's never that hot. But I don't think it'll be too bad once kickoff rolls around, hopefully, because I'll be out there getting wet if so.
And we have been told by Dave Riccio exclusively that you're flying back on Sunday morning.
Yes, we are.
There was some debate about whether you'd get the late flight or not.
Yeah, they were trying. I think they were trying to get the late flight, but they couldn't get everyone on there. There's a few going back, but most of us will be on that Sunday morning.
There is that thought that we're going to win, and we won't need that morning to, we'll have the 2 weeks off. So I like the way that's going. Should we not win, which we're not going to consider, but should we not win, we play the winner of Newcastle and North Queensland, which I don't mind those teams playing those teams. Although the Cowboys are kind of under the radar themselves a little bit with their form. Yeah. But let's hope that we march straight on into a prelim, and we'll work out what happens then after that. Gary, do you have the team in front of you right now that has been named?
Yes, I do.
So can you just read that out for us, please?
Yeah, so obviously we've got Will at the back with Sione and Ronnie on the wings, Sifa and Kale in the centres, and then we've got Nico and Tricky in the halves.
Mm-hmm.
Up front, Toby and Oregon, Blake at hooker, Britt and Teague in the back row with Cam at lock, and then our bench, we've got Atka at 14 with Jack, Royce and Hazer. So Jack, Chris Baella is 18th man and Jaden Beryl 19th.
Okay, interesting. It's not a bad bench. Not a bad bench. I would think they're going to stick with that. Like you'd think Rudolph and Kafusi would open for us, right?
Yeah, I think that's the way it'll go. The only one that might come on, I mean, Royce and Tom can both start, but I don't know if they'd risk that. So
yeah,
I don't think it'll change come game time, but you never know what the coach is thinking.
You don't know what the coach is thinking, but I would go that way too. I would have those two start.
Oregon's been so strong for us this year. Like he's
been great.
Such a good start, and then to have Royce with that punch off the bench, like I think we need that with Sipper not there anymore. So yeah, I think it'll stick as
I mean, him, Jack, and Tom, that's a pretty good punch.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a good little bench there. Obviously, the super sub Dan Atkinson on there as well. So we'll see how they use him and if they use him, and how that all pans out. But he can make a big difference in a game.
Fascinating.
It will be.
Very fascinating to see how he gets out there, because I mean they could give Talakai a spell on the centres, as in move him from the centres and either into the pack or bench. I would think it would be the pack.
Yeah.
He could come on for a half if needed, touch wood, that's not going to be the case. He could come on for a McInnes. Obviously, he'd come on for anyone, I guess. But I think the point is we'd like him out there to create something rather than just come on for the emergency factor. So it'd be, and I sort of believe the coach has that in mind as well. So it'd be interesting to see how he does it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. It's like, obviously they've got their own sort of super sub in that Tyron Wishart, and he does a job when he comes on, but we've got our own in Atkinson, and I'm really excited to see how Fitzy uses him tomorrow. Yeah,
that's actually a great rivalry right there. Like two really fantastic players. I love watching both those guys. I'm a huge Wishart guy, and they do use him really well. So let me ask you, Toby Rudolph, 100 games. Is there any fanfare being made about that?
Yeah, so tonight down in our team room, we'll have a little thing with his family and everyone down here, a bit of a jersey presentation and things like that. So the boys will get involved and get around him. And then, as soon as we wake up tomorrow morning, it's all game day. So we'll get those little festivities and celebrations out of the way tonight.
Oh, I mean, you can call them that, but it's also a thing that Fitzy loves. Like, he prides himself on the milestones. I think he's probably brought it from the Roosters and the way they do things. And he's, as you know, he's massive on the milestones, and they should celebrate it. Like, it's 100 games. It's a great achievement, especially for a guy who was riddled with so many injuries early in his career. He's come a long way since.
That's
you and I used to watch him like walking laps around the Shark Park because he couldn't run. And
exactly right. Everyone's got their own journey to however many games they do play, and Toby's had to take the hard road on a number of occasions, and for him to bring up that milestone in such an important game, it's just I think it's going to lift him to another level, which we've been seeing at the back end of the year. He's taken his game to a new level, and hopefully that continues in the first week of finals.
Let me ask you this before we let you go. Nico Hines, there is a spotlight on him.
Yeah.
You're obviously in the camp. Is he, as our most experienced finals guy, is he taking leadership this week and almost that kind of coaching kind of aspect he has to his personality? Is he involved with that kind of thing, with mentoring, Trindle and those guys?
Yeah, absolutely. And our boys are, like, as you mentioned throughout the whole show, the connection thing, like, they're so tight as a group and as a leadership group that Nico doesn't need to be the one to stand out and give direction. Everyone chips in. We've got guys like Teague Wilton's probably one of the most vocal at training all the time. And, you've got Tricky, him, Cam, Nico, Siffer. Like, there's all these guys that come together. Everyone knows their role and what they need to do. So, yes, Nico is standing up and doing, all those things that you expect of an experienced campaigner. But there's plenty of people, even the young guys in the team, that don't have that much experiences that, they're making sure their voice is heard. And, yeah, they're working well as a group. So I'm excited for what's to come.
All right. I'm excited for what's to come too. Can't wait. We are less than 24 hours away from kickoff, so that's amazing. And make sure if you see Gary Dover down in Melbourne, make sure you give him a hard time, whether it's from over the fence or if you see him out getting a honey soy latte pumpkin coffee or whatever it is that he gets.
There'd be one of those down here for sure. I'm certain of that.
No disrespect. Yeah, make sure you go say hello to Gary because he's our man. Gary, thanks for your time. I know you're a busy lad down in Melbourne. You're drinking your coffee, you're wearing your scarves and keeping warm. So not much else to do down in Melbourne except go see some art galleries, some live music. There's everything to do in Melbourne. Melbourne's awesome. Have a great time. Get the W for us. We'll speak to you on the other side. And appreciate your time, Gary. Everyone else, we will talk to you real soon. This is SharkCast Pod. This is Game Eve preview, depending when you're listening, watching. We will talk to you soon. We're going to get that win. Up, Cronulla. Let's go.
Up.